This is GTV Africa, live from our studio. Inside Presidency. Inside Presidency is a program that tells you everything that happens in the presidency within some period of time. I am Bemiga Olamikon. In the presidency, Governor Lalong of Plateau State came visit to see the president and to brief him of happenings in the state. In the week also, the Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs came to the president and had some discussion with him. Also, President Buhari took time to visit a state, Katsina State, for 4 days visit. Sit back, join me, and have a feeling of what happens in the presidency. Inside Presidency. This is GTV Africa program coming to you from our studio live. Sit back and enjoy it.
Good morning and Happy New Year, all of us. Yes, I came in two respects. One, on behalf of the Northern Governors Forum, and also as a state governor from Plateau State. First, to also extend our felicitations with Mr. President on a new year. We are in a new year and it's January. And two, to also give him, to also congratulate him and commend him for the bold step taken, especially in addressing the insecurity in the country, and especially that of northern Nigeria. The change of service chiefs is very commendable, and also to keep up and to remind him about some of the outstanding things that was left behind by their predecessors, so that we can hasten and conclude them to make people safe, especially that we had serious cases of banditry, kidnapping, and so many issues of insecurity in the country. We will not expect to have the same. So we are going to give the maximum cooperation to the new service chiefs, while also commending the outgone service chiefs for their roles in addressing issues of insecurity. Then secondly, for the northern governors, we had a protracted problem in NNDC, and especially about the new Nigerian staff who were laid off or retired. That was about their gratuity, pensions, and so on. The president intervened, and that has taken a whole lot of weight from us, the northern governors, as we address the issues of reviving the the NNDC. So I also commend him about the setting up of a committee that is on alternate education, the one that was inaugurated, and other things that are in the interest of the nation. But specifically, on behalf of my state, I also made an appeal to Mr. President. Markets, people are talking about markets here and there. In Plateau State, one of the things that was keeping us was the Justment market, which was burned down. And up to this moment, it's difficult for us to rebuild that market. Market is very essential to people. I have tried in several ways, but definitely, as a father, I also came to him. And I said, I need also support, some interventions to start rebuilding of the main market, and to also further reemphasize the issues that were laid, especially in respect to addressing the genuine issues of answers, especially youth restiveness and the role of traditional council. In the Northern Governors Forum, we already set up a committee under traditional rulers, and those committees have turned in their reports. And we agreed that it was going to be in February The whole northern governors are going to meet with traditional rulers to look at ways of addressing youth restiveness and also issue of traditional council, which are also related to general insecurity in the north and of course Nigeria. So we did that, and we are prepared for the meeting in February. And so the president must also know that we are preparing for that, for that meeting. He may decide to attend, or he may send in a representative at that meeting. So those things were very important. But above all, to thank him also for all the efforts that we are seeing. We are in a new year and we are seeing new actions in the interest of the country, and to assure him of our general support. Okay, thank you. Let me start from the last one. The issue of insecurity and also the formation of outfits to address. It started when it was thrown open. Which way? In the north, we said, no, we would like to embrace community policing because people have their different kind of traditions. We embrace community policing. Community policing is already in, they are implementing community policing. In my state, I have them already. They have trained 700. We are still going to train another 700 for community policing in addressing some of those issues. In the southwest, yes, they prefer to do Amotekun. Recently, when we even had clash, we had to come in quickly. You recall that when there was quit notice, I am the chairman of Northern Governors Forum. I also saw heat coming up for me. But maturely, we were able to address that issue through the Governors Forum. And you saw representation moving to Ondo State to address those issues. Some of those issues are usually communication problem. You know, as you also move, you will see conflict marchers. Some people are conflict marchers. Without conflict, they don't survive. So we don't want minor issues to get into conflict, a very serious conflict. But I'm very happy that even with the intervention of the federal government, the Governors Forum, the issue was addressed. Then the last aspect that you mentioned about COVID, about vaccination. Personally, I've addressed people. I've done sensitization in my state, and I've told them we also agreed at the Governors Forum, Northern Governors Forum, that yes, when the vaccine comes, we should be the first to show example. We are ready to offer ourselves for vaccination. So we are now drumming up efforts in sensitization. We had quarrels with some of our colleagues who said they don't believe in it. And my question is, if the president believes in it, who else will say he doesn't believe in it? The president believes in it. The president said of PTF. The president is funding, money is going into addressing those issues. The president recently reeled out a regulation. I think just this week or last week, he reeled out a regulation. So why would anybody think that there is no COVID-19 and you cannot address it? If personally you don't want it, it's yes, but not when you are protecting people. I've seen recently, maybe they have not come out to tell you, that in some of those states that say they don't have it, their people have gone for service. And the moment they checked, they did testing, they saw many of them from that state. So if it's not in your state, why are coppers coming with it from your state? We must be able to address issues when it is of common interest and also for the benefit of the people. To come out, this is science. It's not religion, it's not politics. Where you have a scientific research, the only thing that will counter is another scientific counter. So that is also my opinion. So I agree with you that we need a lot of sensitization, not only us governors, including you, journalists, to be able to drum it. In my state, I lost just in the last 2 weeks, I lost about 8 prominent VIPs. That is VIPs. We buried VIPs from Assistant Inspector General of Police to so many people, big time people. If you are burying them like this, those ones are prominent people. What of the ordinary person that will die? Nobody will put his name in the newspaper or make news with him. So if we have to address it, we must address these issues, issues. But again, I also like what the president did by issuing out the last regulation, which we are going to implement. It's now an issue of implementation. If we don't want vaccine, if those who don't run away from vaccine, then we cannot run away from enforcement of the protocols. I'm very grateful.
Excellency.
The Sultan of Sokoto. It is my pleasure to receive this distinguished delegation of the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, and thank you for the visit. I appreciate your understanding that government has no reason whatever not to grant you audience before now. I try to meet with all groups from across the length and breadth of our great nation, as it is both my responsibility and also serves as an opportunity to listen to honest and frank perspectives. Both in my personal and official capacity, I assure you that I will not take your views or support lightly. I request that you kindly convey my sincere appreciation and that of the federal government to the entire Muslim community for their support and prayers for the country. The federal government has worked tirelessly to combat insecurity and other challenges that are confronting the country. Security is a protracted problem, but we are not relenting in our efforts. Not only are we equipping the military, we are also boosting their morale to perform their constitutional duties without undue interference. We are also encouraging localities to enhance their intelligence gathering and timely remitting to the security agencies. We are diversifying the economy and putting appropriate mechanisms in place to reduce poverty and more fiercely combat corruption regardless of the status of those involved. Programs such as N-Power, conditional cash transfer, government enterprise and empowerment program, and homegrown school feeding program are just some of the interventions made to empower Nigerians and cater for their needs. The National Social Investment Program alone has directly benefited 4 million Nigerians through job training and financial assistance. Meanwhile, the federal government will continue to promote religious freedom as it is a constitutional responsibility. I must thank the Muslim Ummah for promoting inter-religious dialogue in the country. It is self-evident that if the country must work, we must continue to work together in spite of our ethnic, religious, and political differences, because Nigeria is a collective project. Accordingly, the federal government, under my leadership, does not and will not allow religious prejudice or partisanship to influence any of its decisions and policies. It is my solemn decision to be fair and just to all segments of the society. I will also seek your further support in speaking to our people and to help amplify this message through your very tried and tested networks. The first deals with the future of our children and how we can best serve to equip them for the changing and dynamic world that we now live in. Early this week, I supervised the launch excuse me, of the alternate school program that targets a significant number of out-of-school children and those who are primarily in the Al-Majiri system. This program, which is being coordinated jointly by the Ministers of Humanitarian Affairs and Education, requires you to give full backing to ensure its success. The program will not only address our high out-of-school rates, but it will boost our levels of girl-child education, while also equipping our youth with the right tools in making decisions at every turn of their lives when confronted by peddlers of evil and hateful messages. The second and also equally pressing issue is that of the public health crisis that the world is currently facing. Here at home, we have also been hit perhaps not as hard as other nations, but many of our fellow citizens have lost loved ones due to the coronavirus pandemic. As government continues to work towards managing this crisis, it is also critical that you lend your voices in support of those basic but fundamental protocols that can significantly curtail the spread of this disease. Washing of hands, using face masks, and ensuring social distancing as much as possible have been proven to be our first line of defense in the fight against this virus. Furthermore, and much more important, when the vaccines which we are working hard to procure for the nation arrive, please join in the drive to educate people that these vaccines are meant to save lives and protect everyone. I have listened attentively to your suggestions and complaints, and I assure you that the government remains committed to act on behalf of the people of our nation. I also want to re-emphasize the use of your platform to educate Nigerians on the need to maintain peace. We don't have to lose peace before we appreciate it. As everyone knows, the challenges being encountered by nations and citizens in conflict-ridden areas around the world. I acknowledge that security is the first responsibility of government, but government cannot do it alone. It requires stakeholders, such as yourselves. Therefore, I urge you to lend your support to the security agencies by providing information that may stem the tide of crimes and insecurity in the society. I want to thank you once again for this welcome visit. I implore you not to relent in praying for us we won't let you down.
Thank you.